Dennis Sabourin. I'm a licensed diesel mechanic, and I'm here to show you how to manually install the money-saving start feed unit on your truck. In this case, we'll be doing it on a Caterpillar engine. Just follow my step-by-step instructions, and installation should only take you about 30 minutes. First, make sure you received all the necessary parts in your start feed unit kit.
This is a start feed unit, start feed controller, heat shrink, power wire and ground, tie straps, self-tapping screws, resistor, the grounding screw, fuse in the two connectors, eye connectors, feed unit wrap, fuel line, hose clamps, assortment of wrenches, hose cutter, utility knife, sockets and wire strippers, altimeter, light tester, black tape, lighter, safety glasses, and measuring tape.
Okay, here we go. We got everything we need. I got a Cat C13 behind me. In this case, I'm on the driver's side, which is the filter side. Engine's off, keys are in hand, and let's start the installation. Now that we found the secondary filter, which is the last one in the line before it goes to the injector rail, we look for the line leading out, which is this one. And we follow it all the way to the end, which is the other end is over here. Sometimes you have to hold the bottom nut. You should get very minimal fuel that leaks out. Okay, all I'd use is a rag underneath, just kind of wipe it up so you don't make a mess. And then go to the other side. And there you have it, the line is off. Now that we've removed the line from here and here, we're gonna hand tighten the new line. Find the root that you want to replace the line and see where it's going to fit best. Taking this, making sure that the filter is to the filter side. Just kind of measure out just where you would cut it. You mark it with pen, pencil, whatever. Here I'm using whiteout. Okay, then you remove the line and cut it. I'm going to use this hose cutter, but you can use a utility knife if you don't have one of these, which is fine. Okay, now that we have the feed unit, the line's cut, just slide the clamp over, slide it over the fitting, give it a quick tighten, 1/4 inch socket. At this point you don't want to totally tighten it because you need it to turn for installing the line, and do the same for the other side. Put it on the secondary filter. Okay, just hand tight for now. And then put it on the other side. Just make sure the line's not affecting anything. And then I would go with just kind of a tie strap on there to hold it basically. In position. Just take some snips. Cut those off because they can be sharp sometimes. About 12 pounds of torque will be lots for that. Okay, at this point, everything's hooked up. You just make sure that the lines are snug and everything, because it's at the point where you would start it and prime the system and check for leaks. So we're about to do that. Normally you'd have to do it yourself, but I have help with that. Okay, now it's ran. There's fuel through the lines. There appears to be no leaks, so we're good. On to wiring. I'm going to install the ground wire, which goes either or, doesn't matter. But you'll notice in your kits, the wire already comes installed. You need to find a good ground. And now an engine ground is the best for a ground. Attach it right here. This bracket is grounded to the engine, so I'll just scrape that off. Okay, now that we got the ground on, we're going to install the start feed controller. For this purpose, we're going to install it right here, but you want it at the driest place you can get it, well protected. And you always need to see there's a light underneath right here that when it's on is when it's working. Just take the 5/16 self-tapping that came with it. You may need a drill or something if you have to screw into the metal anywhere. There it is. Okay, now that this is installed, we have to find a positive wire that only comes on when the ignition is in the on position, or accessory for that matter. And to do that, for this instance, I got a buddy in the cab that's going to turn the ignition on and off for me while I try to find one. Okay, this one has power, but see it if the ignition's off. Turn it off. Turn it off. Oh, it's no good. You need one that goes out when you shut the ignition off. And that way you don't burn out the unit. Okay, there's one that's positive. So turn the ignition off. Back on. Off again. On. There we go. Okay, you'll notice in your kit you have this wire. And on this particular one, it's blue and brown, but the one that you'll get in your kit when you purchase it will be red or white, red and white. Okay, on this particular thing, blue is positive, brown is ground. So you just take it and clip it into your unit, connect your positive. Again, it's heat shrink, so seal her up. Okay, now that you got your positive hooked up, you're gonna move to your ground. And this again should be an engine ground, which you can replace in the same place as the last one, which I will do right now. You don't have to use the same ground, but it's a good ground for that one, so it'll be a good ground for this one as well. Now the final wire, this is the wire from your controller to your igniter. And this wire actually has high voltage, so ensure that the key is off. Then you just remove one of these screws, doesn't matter which one. Okay, now that that's all connected, next step, and ensure that you never touch this. You're going to test it with a voltage. Turn the ignition on, test it, make sure everything's okay. And at that point, you'll see the light on the bottom of your box. And then we'll proceed with wrapping it. Okay, before you go on, you turn on the engine, make sure you do not touch that. And you can use a voltmeter. I'm just going to test, make sure the power's there. And we have lots of power, so everything's working. And now that you have a positive, you want to insert a fuse. So let's do that. Let's just cut, strip. These little fittings were supplied in the kit. And then just insert that. We'll tie it up later on. And again, you want to take your test light, which I still have sitting here, and turn the ignition on. And the power. And turn it off. There you go. Okay, now that you got that done, can't stress enough, make sure the power is off while you do this. I'm gonna clean up some wires. You can take more time at doing it on your own, but for this purpose, I'm just gonna do it up quickly. You wanna make the fuse accessible as well. And now we're gonna just snip off the ends. Okay, we're gonna wrap it with this insulation. Just another way of ensuring you don't touch this at any point. And it protects the feed unit. So, cover this up. This stuff you just, easy peasy. Stick it together, and just to ensure, it's always good. You have a light on the bottom of your control module, a little LED red light. And as long as that's on, you know that everything is connected and working. Congratulations, that's all it takes. Your start feed unit should now be up and running, and you're ready to start saving money and doing your part for the environment. Any questions or problems, visit us at www.startfuelsavings.com. Thank you for choosing the Start Feed.